bruise on my knuckle. This is beautiful. This is incredible.
Thank you.
I saw some photos yesterday of a selfie, and I tried to find out where it was, but yeah, that was not something I was ever gonna find.
Probably not. God, there's a dog somewhere.
Yeah. You guys have a clown dog?
Nah, it's probably one of the Durags dogs.
Hmm. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I just had a rough time trying to wrangle everyone tonight, and that's why I was so frustrated. Everyone seems to be having their own little private meltdown, and I can't kick the clowns out of their own house. So I just had to mitigate, I guess.
Hmm. I mean,
Like, half of them are drunk. It's supposed to be a dry wedding. And Sooty knew that, but apparently she brought alcohol. So Chatty, Kirk, Wayne, and pretty much everyone else was getting drunk. Winsong got drunk. Chatty's been drinking a lot, and I don't know how to fix it. And he's not drinking for fun. It's just a worry that I have.
I might be able to help you with that to some degree. I
Hmm?
don't know. With Chatterbox. Um, Not that I like to bring up the past, but I know how stressful your job was years ago. And there were a few nights where I helped you get home. I made sure that you were at least comfortable, had a place to sleep, had water, cleaned up bottles so you wouldn't cut yourself on glass. And truthfully, I don't know if you still drink. I'm not sure, but
I'm sober.
are you?
When I retired, I went to rehab for 90 days.
Hmm.
And it was after that that I started to travel and stuff. Um, Going on 6 years. But it didn't help that I had people handing me alcohol.
I have a daughter that's addicted as well, so I get it. And the best advice I can give anybody is that sometimes you can't help people, but you can be there for them. And sometimes it's hard, especially with a substance, to tell somebody that it's bad for them because you know it as well as they do. But it's also why they're using it. And some of the best support you can do as however you see Chatty, whether it's a family member, a friend, someone close to you, whatever you view him as. Uh, the best support you'll ever give anybody is to just be there for them. And at least for me and morphine, it was the day that I embarrassed myself in front of people that I loved and cared about that made me realize it wasn't for me. But the people that loved me never stopped supporting me. They never stopped caring about me. They always stuck by my side. And it was me that came to the conclusion uh, that I was putting them in a position. And now it's not going to be for everybody, but I can tell you from so far my experiences, you being there for Chatty at his worst may be a very slow process, and you may not know how to help him. And whether he sees it or not, and whether you know it or not, you're helping him more than he would ever know. And I'm sorry you're going through that.
It wasn't even just that either. There's like 7 other things going on.
Well, I'm all ears. I'm not in a rush to be anywhere.
Chatty was drunk. Kirk and Wayne got really drunk. Ember has brain damage. She thinks she's got a bee in her head. Her ears were bleeding. I couldn't get her to go to the doctor. Apparently she'd stabbed Joanna because she thought Joanna tried to get Bozo killed. And apparently she was saying that she wanted to do something to the wedding. So I had to reel her in. She had a panic attack, ran hyperventilated in the bathroom. I had to calm her down. After that, I heard that Chatty was stirring with Happy and Windsong. And Happy's a psycho, and he decided to show up with a gun. And he was going to come downstairs and chase Chatty into the venue. I had to hold him up with a knife. Kiki beat him down. Windsong apparently shot at the walls and took Happy out of the situation.
Jesus.
Because I guess she thought that Happy was cheating on her, and Happy only showed up with a gun because he thought Windsong was cheating on him. And I had texted Happy not to listen to anything anyone said, because they were all just trying to stir. But, of course, he doesn't listen to me. Then we had... Let's see. Charles was handing me alcohol while I was trying to mitigate everything going on. Bozo was supposed to be the officiant. He had brain damage the other day, and he just got out of the ICU. He's got a plate in his head. He's been having panic attacks.
Who did? I'm sorry.
Bozo.
Jeez.
So he was freaking out about Ember. And while he was freaking out about that, Joanna showed up from outside the ICU. She's all bandaged up like she's just gotten out of the hospital, and she's wondering if she should be there. And they get into like this feedback loop of, I don't know if you should be here. I don't know if you should be here. And Kiki had to split them up. I told Joanna just to yuck and leave because, you know, Ember had stabbed her. and Ember was there thinking she was gonna attack people at the wedding. Um, I finally got into a place where I thought things were calming down, and the venue went fine, like the whole ceremony. But as people were dancing, I think Chatty let Dundee in, and Dundee came in and shot Ember. I don't know what he screamed when he shot her, but he was just screaming, and so he ran out, and I see Kirk sitting at the door saying I didn't do it. But
I saw him tweet earlier, death to all PD.
Yeah. Just before all that had happened, I had snapped at them because I could see they were trying to stir something up. And I asked them to take it outside. If they're gonna do something, take it outside. Because I spent hours making this venue. And I just wanted to watch the wedding. I just wanted to dance. I just wanted to have a good time. But I spent the first half of it trying to make sure that my family wasn't gonna just burn down. And after Dundee showed up, I just had a, I don't know. I don't know if it was a panic attack or what,
It was the straw that
but
broke the camel's back.
I went and I hid in a corner.
Overwhelmed?
Yeah. I just wanted to enjoy it. And I don't know if Ember's okay. I know Chatty's not okay. Maple and Etta said it was fine, but I don't know. And then being the bouncer at the door sucked because there were a lot of people coming in that I didn't know. And, there was people I was told not to let in. And in the midst of all that, you called me. It was just a lot.
I'm sorry. I really
Normally
am.
I can handle it, but it was just like too much of it at once. And when I just want one night of a little bit of peace and quiet with minimal yuckery, it would have been nice. But I'll be okay. I needed a minute.
Yeah.
Sometimes Mama needs a minute.
I First off, the venue is beyond gorgeous, and I know how much time you put into your work, and it's a craft that not a lot of people have. But I'm probably biased when I say it, but you probably do it best.
Nah,
Yeah.
there's way better than me, but I appreciate it. I don't think I'm bad, but I know there's people out there that are like crackheads.
Well,
I like looking at what they do.
yeah. No, definitely. It's a special talent to have, and it's hard to manage 7 different things at once. It's hard to put together 7 different things at once and to hope for a night. And trust me, I'm not. How am I going to word this? I was going to say I'm not an idiot, but I think I'm going to word it as I'm no stranger to what I'm going to say. But I'd imagine Etta and Maple also were looking for some peace and quiet. And
I think last night's went a little better. So I think the chaos of today was okay because they'd already gotten married last night and this was kind of the secondary one.
sure.
Oh,
Well, between, I'm sure, their expectation, you hosting, while also having to manage the double edged sword of it being in the same building of where your family lives, on top of the personal conflict and the failure of upholding expectations. Um, I wasn't there. I can't share your trauma with that, but I get it. And what I can say with confidence is so long as Edit and Maple enjoyed themselves, and so long as the event is over, I'm going to say you did everything that you needed to do. And it's not fair to you that it came at the cost of a couple minutes of your sanity, but I've been there. I was there the day I submitted my 2 weeks notice. I took a week off because Richard was in the ICU. I had just come out of the ICU. Um, I was told that Richard was going to have permanent brain damage from the lack of oxygen. It worried me. I took about a week off duty. And after about a week and a half, I decided to come back. And my first day back on duty, I called that I was on duty and I got a call down to the hospital. I'd just taken the job as I forget what their division is for detectives anymore. I know that it was dissolved, but one of my first days, and I was told that there was a homicide.
you told me about this one.
I did.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. I'm sure you've probably told it to a few people, and
Quite a few.
I think you told me even before you resigned. fully. I can't really remember.
I probably did. I know I spoke to you that day. Because after the triple homicide, I went into a
Yeah.
corner and bawled my eyes out, put myself together, went off duty, and then got the call that you were in the ICU. And I went to go talk with you. And I believe the words I expressed were something along the lines of, I'm going to do something and just know that I appreciate you and I hope that you turn out and everything's okay. And it was right after that talk I had with you, I submitted my 2 weeks. And granted, my decision was more permanent, but sometimes we all need a minute. Sometimes it gets to be overwhelming, and sometimes it gets to be a lot. And I guess the way that it's worded, the show must go on. Even though you had all this going on at once, you still made sure that there was a venue. Still made sure that there were people. You still made sure that they were on whatever list. And you still had 2 people that could have walked out happy. And again, granted, it was at the cost of your own sanity, but um, I think you did everything that you needed to do today. And the other issues that are going to arise, instead of looking at them as all happening at once, I think it's easier and better to look at it as taking it one step at a time and addressing issues as they arise when you need to. Can I ask you maybe a personal question that you do not have to answer, and I don't want you to feel pressured to?
Sure.
Was I one of them?
Yeah. It was kind of more of a blanket thing. Basically,
The
I'm
ADMC.
sure you know. Yeah. And so, with your association to Ziggy, they did tell me, unfortunately, that includes Flop. So, yeah. I do understand. Like, they've been through a lot. That did kind of hurt. It stung a little bit. Because I know you wouldn't show up and do something stupid. I think they know it too, but I don't know.
I'd like to hope, but you know. I feel like if they did, they would have told me.
Did you have a falling out with any of them? I just don't understand. Don't you live with Etta?
Um, the I no.
I guess I haven't been in the loop.
When I left the PD, I left because I wanted to be with my family. I left because I wanted to be around the people that have had my back. And the minute I left, people stopped calling me. People stopped texting me. People didn't even want to associate with me. And it was all because I stood by Ziggy and Rue's side, who are my family. They're my family, and I love them, and I will always love them unconditionally. Matt, Richard, Etta, and Maple have villainized me for simply trying to be happy. And I had a conversation with Richard a couple months ago at this point, but a week after he got out of the hospital. And I told him, I said I was probably going to get into some street racing. And he said that I would end up with a bullet in the back of my head. He then told me that Cody ended up with a bullet in the back of his head by an officer. And he didn't like the path I was going down. And it was the first time I opened up honesty to Richard about my intentions. I told him I want to do stuff that makes me happy. And I told him that I wanted to be there for the family. And my last phone call with any of them was about 3 weeks ago. And it was about a 40-minute phone call. And I had been fighting and trying to make sense of everything. And I told Richard that I will forever love and care about my family. And he asked me, he said, "Are you going to hang out with the ADMC?" I said, "I am married to Ziggy, and Rue is my daughter. I could be far, far away from any of them. I would still by proxy know of and be around the ADMC. He then called me a liar. He said that I lied on my reasons for leaving. I lied about my intentions, that I had no care about the family, that I never cared about the family. And then he said that if I am seen, let me rephrase, he said, and I quote, if I find out you're hanging out with the ADMC, you are no son of mine.
What the heck?
I told him, I said, fine, I'm no son of yours. And then I hung up the phone.
I can't say I blame you on that one. I'm sorry, Flop.
Okay.
Where you been staying?
Polito and Brew has an apartment that I've been sleeping on her couch, but the house has been empty. It's been a weird empty void that's got me feeling uncomfortable, but I never.
So you're still, well, you still have that house. Did
mm,
they move out?
Their cars aren't parked there, and there's nothing in the cupboards. So I'm going to assume that they're no longer at the house. I can't confirm that. They never told me, but I will never kick them out. I never wanted anybody to see the worst in me. And I'd like to assume that no matter what happens, they always have that door open. But I can definitely say they have had no form of transportation since everything has happened. So, kind of hard to call it home.
Yeesh. Well, that's really sad.
I posted something on Twitter today.
Yeah, I saw it.
The most important part of that was that last paragraph. Because I did this all for my family in hopes that they would accept me for being happy. I probably stirred a little on Twitter with that because I did say my wedding gift and then posted that. They don't want to talk to me. They don't want to know me. And as far as I know, they don't want to see me. So I wanted to talk to you about it because I know that you're close with Matt. And I'd like to think that Matt and I haven't really had a lot of talking outside of the last thing he told me. was that he would love me no matter what, and that if I ever needed anything to call. I don't know if he sees that in me anymore, but
Matt's always been a little less rigid than Dark on where he stands, morally and with everything, I guess. It's not always black and white with him. So I could see him being a little more understanding than Dark would.
mm,
But I definitely would expect that kind of reaction from Dark, so that makes sense.
yeah. I think the only thing I hope, and the only thing I could maybe deep down hope for out of everybody, I still think about what Matt said. And I would hope he knew that I still loved him. But at this point, that's more of an aspiration. I didn't mean to turn this into a trauma dump.
No, it's okay. I think we both kind of did.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta talk about it. And I needed something else to fixate on. It's really disappointing to hear, though. I'm sorry. That's all I can really say, honestly. I mean, nothing I can do will ever change how they feel, you know?
Yeah. I appreciate it.
But I may not always agree with some of the stuff that ADMC does, but I'm going to uphold my own values the way I always have. And I won't hold a whole group accountable for one individual, you know? It's never been how I've behaved. So if something ever was to happen with ADMC, which it has in the past with the clowns, it would never be a personal thing for me. And I wouldn't remove you as a friend from my life. Because I know the clowns tend to yuck around a little bit, and if something ever was to happen, I just need you to know that, like, just because you're associated with them, you're Ziggy, doesn't mean you're not my friend anymore.
Thank
I don't
you.
think there's anything you could ever do that would cause that, but except maybe like I don't know, just murdering animals for no reason, but like that's my one rule. You know that? I know that.
Mm-hmm. Mm. God damn. It it means more than you know. Just hearing that. Truthfully, that's all I ever wanted to hear from my family. So, thank you. And
If
obviously the
Mr.
same.
Ratchet ever tells you to get in a car with him, just say no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Think I can do that? I won't ever tell them that you told me, by the way. If they ever even contacted me.
I don't think it was a huge secret. Um, but that's whatever you would like to do. I don't mind. I had like guests coming in who knew ADMC was excluded. So take that how you will. And I would appreciate, and I know this is maybe asking a lot, and I realize that them excluding all of ADMC is kind of offensive. But I would genuinely appreciate if they don't retaliate. Possibly if they just don't hear about it.
The only thing that I mentioned today to anybody was that there was a wedding last night and that I wasn't invited.
Yeah.
That's as far as it'll go for me. I'm not. There's certain things I don't want to cross. And that's.
If they catch wind of it through other means, that is what it is, but
Mhm.
I'd just rather it not come from me to you, to them.
It won't. Because what happens in this conversation will not go anywhere. Um, I have way too much of a history with you to do that to you.
I appreciate it. And if it is asking too much, it is what it is. I get it.
It's really not my business. One day it might be, but by that point, this is long gone. So
Okay.
I have no interest in retaliating. I have no interest in reaching out to them. I have no interest in telling anyone. I think I got what I wanted, and that was just to see the venue. So long as they were happy with it.
kind of made Etta cry.
What'd you do?
Well, I made it so pretty, and then she came in and cried.
That's actually really sweet.
Yeah,
That's actually really cute.
it was very nice. Kind of why I'm glad they came in before, because if I had only had the reaction from today, I wouldn't really have gotten anything out of building this place.
This may sound
But
funny, but you should keep it for a while.
I might keep it for a little while, but we do have Halloween coming up, and we are going to be doing a haunted house here.
Okay.
So we'll see.
All I'm gonna say is that if given the opportunity, I would, if I ever needed to be by myself, away from people, I would, I would be sitting on this bench. Very peaceful.
I think it's having an adverse effect on Chatty. I can't confirm that, but I'm worried he's drinking because of cups being gone. And I don't know if you know much about who Cups is, but
Briefly, but not extensively.
they had a really rough engagement. And some bad stuff happened. People got hurt. And the long story short of it is, she kind of lost a lot of her memory of him, which I'm sure you can relate to.
Yeah.
And so she took his mask and skipped town. And he gave it to her because he's kind of found that he is okay without it. I just don't know whether or not that's fully true. He said something to me the other day that stood out. He was getting his makeup on. He's never been a makeup clown. He was not wearing makeup before a couple days ago. Someone made a comment about how it looked in his mask. And he screamed like he was like, "I'll have it back whenever Cups comes back." Or if she ever comes back, or something along those lines.
Mhm.
And it sounded so aggressive. And I just don't know if I don't know if he's okay. Uh, he was all right for a while, but with all this drinking and the wedding being so close, I just can't help wondering if I set something off.
It sounds like he's having a reactionary, I guess you'll call it a momentum. Um, if you're right about your hunch, It sounds like he has it in his own mind. Uh, on the love and or care he has for Cuffs. And I'm sure she's sweet. I've only met her in passing in a courtroom once, but it sounds like he's not complete without her. And it sounds like for him it wasn't an identity crisis with his mask. It sounds more like for him it was being happy. And it sounds like right now, more in a blunt way to say it, he doesn't sound happy right now. And I'll be honest, he may not be happy uh, until he sees Cups again. And it sucks because
That's what I'm afraid of.
sucks too because I love Chatty and I've known him for such a long time, but it hurts more knowing that there's a frown behind the mask. And I think it's because we can see it. You can see it. The other clowns can see it. Does he drink often, or was it just today that
I
this
mean,
happened?
he's always kind of had a drinking thing going on, but the last couple days he's just stayed drunk.
I mean, he's known about the venue, though.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if excuse me, the venue was, I don't want to say a partial blame. I don't think the right word is blame, but was more of a reminder for him. And I think just being there for him and supporting him is the healthiest thing to do, even though it hurts, especially being a bystander watching.
I'll do what I can.
Mm, I know you will.
Thanks, Flop.
Absolutely. And thank you.
You're welcome. I'll see you around.
I'll see you around. You take care.
A roof run?
Sure. Actually, yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
I'm down.
You still not a felon?
Still not a felon.
You're
I'm eight.
driving.
I'm 8-0. Okay.
Meet you at the apartments.
Okay. I'll grab my car and we'll go from there.
Okay.
That was such a good conversation. That was God damn. Well, I finally got his closure in a way. Yeah, I didn't actually know that it was Tessa's venue at all. I just knew that Plot was calling Tessa for interior design work earlier, and I didn't actually have any zero anticipation of it coming to that, but I'm glad we didn't look too long because fuck me, dude. Hey, Prism, I appreciate you. Thank you. That was more importantly from that, Plop told Tally he was ready. He no longer has anything holding him. It's clear that he's been sectioned. Also, I heard you rolled an 11. Yeah. I don't even know. Sorry, I was sending a demon. That's the wildest 11, by the way. Dude, I couldn't help but laugh when it happened because I was like, there's no fucking way. Oh my God. Excuse me. Flopping a cut about 2 to 3 months? Who knows? What the fuck? This is great. Oh my God, that just gave me an idea. That just gave me an idea. Should flop to should flop to